What up? What's going on, guys? This your boy Vlad coming with a quick recap video. I did two trades pre-market um, during the week. Trading pre-market, it is very dangerous. I don't recommend doing it
Okay.
because you literally don't know, because it's illiquid during pre-market, and due to the fact that it's illiquid, you could probably get a bad fill. And if you get a bad fill, you could lose, 50% all in one trade. So definitely don't recommend it. But I did do it two trades during the week. One was successful, the other one was not. So I'm just gonna take you through my train of thought, or why did I do both trades. The first one, I did do The first one was VLRX. This one was the successful one, and this is what I saw pre-market. I saw because all right, quick background around VLRX. VLRX had it was a reverse split. As you know, with reverse splits, I like to get in it during pre-market whenever some news was out. This one actually had the first day right here, and normally after it has one huge day with a lot of volume, I tend not to trade them. It had a second big day over here at 11 million in volume. So I knew for this, my train of thought, once I saw the news and it started, it got a little bit of movement during the pre-market. I knew that I was going to be in and be out. I wasn't going to, stay in this stock for long. So it was on this day. All right, so I already know that it had low float, and I knew that it was going to come up to resistance on this day. So normally the bigger the volume that it has on that day, typically that's where resistance is going to be at. So out the gate, this is what I saw. Saw it popped up, got all the way to 335, and I was just thinking like, wow, this thing, the day before the day before it closed at 250. So already pre-market is almost up $1 a share. So I'm just thinking to myself like, wow, this thing already popped up. I'm not gonna chase it. And what I did, I was using the VWAMP right here, and using the VWAMP, and I just set my order to be like right at the VWAMP. I think right around, I want to say, right around this pullback here. Yep, this is where I got in. I got in on this pullback. I said I was gonna wait till it had some red candles, and I was gonna use the VWAMP just to place my entry. Then, sure enough, it had the snap. My order wasn't at like 319 because at the time this was the VWAMP 319, and it snapped all the way back to like 310. So it stayed there, it hovered, and I didn't even have any plan of escape. Like this was just like a whim. I would say this would be considered a lucky trade, because I didn't have any plans on exiting if I was super wrong. I mean, I guess hindsight, I could have looked at right here and say, well, 298, that would be my stop. But I mean, real life, when everything was happening, I didn't even consider that. Um, so luckily, it started picking up. it got past the V1. Then once I saw this candle here, I knew that that it was gonna have a little bit more pop. So it was going. I first was planning on exiting at like 380, but once I saw that it topped right here and it snapped, then it went up right here and topped again, and then some. There was some a lot of sellers coming into the level 2. So I knew that was my time to exit. So I got out at 358, 359, 358 because I placed my order for 358, but someone was at 359, so it knocked them down. Then shortly after I traded, this caused this panic. And after that, that's all she wrote. As you can see, the rest of the day, it just started trading lower. So I didn't even hold to market open because I knew, like I said, I knew this. And typically, if a stock is trending downwards during pre-market, it normally have a hard time trying to pick back up. And not only that, we knew about the resistance that's up above over here. All right, so that one, lucky trade. Probably won't do it, something like that again. At least I'm gonna try not to. But overall, I mean, the conviction behind it was, low float, reverse split. I know it needs to do PR. There was a PR that came out, and I want to say the PR was, let's see here, something about their study. So it wasn't really like, oh my God, this the next Microsoft type news, or oh my God, this company's gonna go from 1 to 10 type of news. So I knew I wasn't gonna be in it long. So overall, I mean, it was lucky. I was able to still profit pretty good on it. I think with this trade, made roughly about I want to say like $317. So not for the account size that I'm trading with, pretty good. Second trade, PSTI. This one didn't go so well. This one, the same thing. Reverse split. And it just been having just up days. Let me find the day. So it's just been having just up days the last couple of days. So it was on this day, out of nowhere, the news, I thought it was pretty good. It says U.S. Department of Defense presented data from their studies, pretty much their studies with, the U.S. Department of Defense thought it was pretty good. So in my mind, this is how I rationalized it. I thought, okay, the government, they have lots of money and they like the result that they got from, their drug or whatever. Because I don't really pay attention to what type of product the company do. I just trade off of news and also based upon the technical analysis. But once I saw the news, I'm like, okay, bet this is gonna be great news. This thing is gonna run. It had because I had this already on my watch list to begin with. You saw my previous videos. I placed this on PSTI. The float for it was about 15 million. Pretty hot. It's higher than what I normally trade. And for this, it didn't have the reason why I was doing the split. So, and I had stated on my previous video that this stock right here is very speculative. I didn't really know how to trade this, but I still had it on my watch list just to be able to test it out. So with that, it popped up. First thing I did was wait to the pullback. I got in roughly, 574. I got in here. Then it started lingering. It did pop, and this is where I should have got out once it started testing the VWAP again. But I didn't. I was trying to be patient just to hold it through the whole to the market open. Once I saw that it cracked the VWAP, I exit out of it at like 572, like right around here. So for that one, I only lost not too bad. I only lost $17. So it wasn't a big loss, but nonetheless, I did take it off because I didn't like how the price action was moving. And sure enough, throughout the day, it lingered. Then it had a collapse. So it definitely was a good job of reading it, or else, I would have been stuck. Could have took a bigger loss. One thing that I do find, the VWAP, this line right here, it is very, very helpful, at least for me, to know how the stock is reacting and where are the majority of the people buying and selling at. So highly recommend, if you don't have VWAP set up on your charting, to definitely do so, because playing off of it tend to give you, good sense of risk reward, as well as good sense of charting, knowing which direction that the stock is going to go. But yeah, those were the two trades that I did. I already talked about AVGR, and if you guys recall too, for AVGR, I was telling you guys it had earnings coming up, and don't try to hold this during earnings, because you never know which way this stock would go with any stock before earnings. So the way that the market react to it. So it did have bad earnings. So the numbers for their finance for the quarter, the second quarter, was bad. And this is exactly what happened. What was the earnings? It was here. Yep. So during the earnings call, I guess some investors like what they were saying. They must have said something else that said otherwise. And once they said that, the stock just started taking a dump. Then from there, it just all she wrote. Like now it's at 187, which is good. So if you haven't purchased into it, this is a good thing. I really want to see this get down closer to maybe a dollar-ish. If it can get close to a dollar-ish, I am definitely gonna go long. I'm gonna purchase and just hold because the dollar, that's the benchmark for this type of strategy. Another thing that I did like to see what it did, and I'm gonna wait, but because it's been bouncing off of the 180s, so 180 right now serves as support. 180 right here. 180. Because here it is right here. There's the low point. The low point is 180. And prior to that, came down. The low for this was July 24th. The low for that day was 185. So 5 cents above the low. So normally stocks have, when support and resistance, that's the floor for it. It bounced off. Now it tested it again, It tested the 180. This time it actually hit 180. And there it is right here. This is the intraday of it. Hit 180. Then some volume picked up. And then it started uptrending. So I'm waiting to see how 180 is going to fare. Because if it cracks 180, then, 180 now becomes resistance. So depending how this react, if it holds 180 again, there's a lot of buyers at 180. That would be a good place to buy. Above 180, then risking off of 180. So you minimize your risk and you maximize your reward by doing it that way. Because right now, if you purchase it, let's say at 188, your risk level right now for it is only 180. So you're only risking 8 cents. Now you have all this potential upside of the stock because the next level of resistance, just by mapping it, would be two. Roughly, let me see what's the high of this. 247. So 247. Let me get my calculator. 188. That is 27. So 59 cents of upside versus 8 cents of downside. So this is how, when you do your risk reward, I mean, it's okay to lose on trade, but when you minimize your risk of how much you're going to lose, the time that you do hit, you will outperform your losses. So I'm going to make another video, maybe tomorrow, just to touch base again on some of the picks that I have. Doing more research just to see if there's any other stocks that's in play or will be in play. So definitely still keep your eye. If you didn't see my last videos from last Sunday, definitely go take a look at that. I have the ones that I have on my watch list that I still have. So one of these days, some news is gonna come out, and when it does, make sure you just sit tight, because these stocks tend to pop. So this is Vlad signing off. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a wonderful week. Peace.